conference. Once again, returning all 22 starters from the Super Bowl. Jeff Saturday knows about winning Super Bowls. He's back with us. Jeff, I'll start with you with our camp takes. We see that the Bucs are the favorites to win it all again. So I ask you this, will they run it back?
Ooh, it's always tough because history tells me no, but my mind's telling me yes. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, no. I think we got them going. Listen, this is what I like about the Bucs. First of all, Bruce Arians, their head coach, is one of those guys who never lets you rest on what you've done. He's always challenging you, pushing you, making you try to be your best. He's always holding you accountable. Tom Brady, very similar, right? This guy's, early 40s, and I don't know if I've ever seen a player more hungry or hungrier than Tom Brady. I mean, this guy wins Super Bowls, and he's already talking about the next one. So you have that. Then you flip it over to the defensive side. Todd Bowles, one of the best defensive coordinators in the game. You watched what he did as the season progressed after the bye week and into the playoffs, how well that defense, and they're loaded. They brought everybody back. So when you look at all these things, and then I couple that with the NFC, I think the NFC is far behind the AFC as far as competitive teams. I think Green Bay gives Tampa Bay, the biggest challenge. But when I look at the AFC, I think they're much deeper throughout the league. So as I'm looking at this, I go, man, like Tampa Bay, I really do give them a shot to run this thing back and look forward really to watching it. I mean, this team's loaded to bear, and you just got to see if they can execute.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win again just because the odds are against repeating. You don't pick one team against the field usually, and they just won. And luck was also on their side. I know luck is the residue of design. Brady keeps himself in great shape and great condition. He pays attention to it. Maybe that also affected the offensive line because really their line was healthier than the other lines. Why did the Bucs win the Super Bowl? Because Brady no, because the two best teams they played, right? The Green Bay Packers and then the Kansas City Chiefs, and those are the three best quarterbacks in the game. The Packers had injury on the offensive line. The Chiefs' offensive line was wiped out.
Yep.
Wiped out. I mean, it wasn't really a game because the Chiefs – did you see what the Chiefs did in the offseason to that offensive line? I mean, you could – the two teams that I thought you have real problems on the line, and we're like, oh, my God, you can't do better than that. The Jets in the draft to supplement what they already had on the left side. The Chiefs, we were just talking about the Ravens. They're not going to have Orlando Brown. You know why? Because – he's on the Chiefs. They traded him to the Chiefs, which I think is nuts. You don't trade that guy. You don't trade a premier left tackle to the team that you're competing against for AFC supremacy, you would hope. And that's the issue they have. They went and got Tooney. They have Remmers on the right side. They brought in, what's his name, Blythe from the Rams. Jeff, you're more qualified than anyone to talk about center play, but he's like among the better centers in the game. On paper, their offensive line could not have been fixed better. And then you have to factor in the luck element, too. Look, they were super healthy last year at the right time, the Bucs, and they were playing teams that weren't. So not only would they have to rely on the Chiefs not also falling apart on the line, getting hurt and all that, and the Packers, too, but then they'd also have to get lucky and stay healthy again. I just think there are too many variables to pick them as the winner again. They have as good a chance as anyone. If you ask me who's going to win the Super Bowl, I'll tell you the Kansas City Chiefs.
Jeff, let's go to the NFC. Who's the biggest threat to them, to the Bucs?
Oh, got to be the Packers. I mean, it's not even close here, Molly. Like when you look at Green Bay, I mean, I think of Green Bay similar to how I thought about the Buffalo Bills in the early 90s, right? Like when Bill Polian had that team and they're going to the AFC Championship game year in and year. Like the Packers as a team are legit. I mean, Aaron Rodgers obviously is a special player. I'm not taking anything away from him. But the things around him, defensively, they've improved. They've improved their run game. I think LaFleur is one of the best play callers in the game. I know everybody takes shots at, should have kicked the field goal. I'm talking about offensive schematic play design. Like the guy knows what he's doing to get guys open. Devontae Adams. Now you're going to bring Cobby in. Randall Cobb is coming back to him. You have Amari Rodgers from Clemson coming in. This team is going to be another team that they're going to put out on the field that can challenge anybody. And when you think about Aaron Rodgers playing angry again, right? MVP season, all the stuff that's happened in the offseason, they're finally giving way. He's back. He'll want to prove it again. So I like what the Packers are, and I think this is a very tough out for the Bucs. So to me, it's like Bucs are 1A, Green Bay's 1B. I mean, they're very close in my opinion because both offensive lines are good. Both defenses can play when they're healthy. So I like what they can do. And I just think it's going to be who plays the best on that day.
100% agree. I think the Bucs are better than the Packers, but not by much. And I would say this.
Right.
This is why I said the Packers were the biggest winners in the Rodgers situation. Because, Molly, it's one thing to have Rodgers come back, but to do it under circumstances where he'd be committed. How do you pull that off? He'll be committed now because he had a concession, which is, okay, if I want out, I'm out. Right? So they know they need to convince him to stay. But they're also getting, my whole problem was, I don't care what, and all the experienced Super Bowl champions are telling me this, I still don't believe it. If your quarterback's not all in, your quarterback, you ain't winning no Super Bowl. The quarterback's got to be all in to win a Super Bowl. It's the leader of the team. Full contact sport, got to be all in. How are you going to do that with Rodgers? He doesn't want to be there. They figured it out. Rodgers will be all in. Now think about this. LaFleur comes in. Year one, because McCarthy is outdated, it's not working. LaFleur comes year one. They're in the NFC Championship game. But Rodgers was reduced to a game manager because he was just getting his feet wet with the system. Year two, Rodgers wins MVP. Maybe has the best year of his career. Also in the NFC Championship game. Now we're in year three. You think LaFleur's taking the ball out of Rodgers' hands again with the game on the line? And Rodgers is coming in with that chip on his shoulder? Jeff, I agree. Tampa won. Packers right behind them.
Yep. It looks like Jeff's co-signing on that. All right. We'll leave it there, guys. When we come back, Marshawn Lynch joining the show. Beast mode.